The hall of the Zilari royal court was quiet as the tall doors opened. Guards stepped aside to let the hooded figure walk through. He moved slowly, but with purpose. His long coat brushed against the smooth floor. The air was filled with whispers. No one knew his name. No one could see his face. Princess Alira sat on her high seat, surrounded by her council. Her silver eyes watched the stranger with curiosity. He stopped before her and stood still. "You are the human who sent the message?" Alira asked. The hooded man nodded. "Yes, I came to help." Her voice was calm but firm. "Why would a human help the Zilari Empire? We are not allies." "Because you are in danger. And I can help stop it," he said. The council members shifted in their seats. One of them, an elder named Gorlin, stood up. "This could be a trick. Why should we trust someone who hides his face?" The human stayed silent for a moment. "Judge me by what I do, not how I look." Alira raised her hand. The room became quiet again. She looked at the stranger. Something about his voice felt familiar, strong but calm. He did not sound like a liar. She made a decision. "Very well. You will stay in the outer quarters. You will not leave the palace without my permission. We will watch you. If you are true to your word, you will earn our trust." The man bowed his head. "Thank you." Later that night, Alira stood by her window. The stars shone brightly. She could not stop thinking about the human. There was something strange about him. Something she could not explain. In the days that followed, the stranger trained with the palace guards. He did not speak much. But when he moved, people watched. His skill with weapons was unlike anything they had seen. He was fast, precise, and calm under pressure. He led a small mission to stop a Draxian attack on a nearby supply base. The mission was a success. Not a single soldier was lost. Word of his bravery spread quickly. The guards began to respect him. Some even tried to guess who he was. But he never removed his Hu.Lira, heard the reports, and grew more curious. She watched him from a distance during training. He moved like someone who had fought many battles. Yet, there was a gentleness in his actions. He helped younger guards. Improve? He treated everyone with respect. One evening, Alira invited him to a private meeting. He arrived silently and stood before her. "You have done well," she said. "I only did what was needed." She studied him. "Tell me something about yourself." "Anything." The man paused. Then he said, "I have seen war. I have lost friends. That is all I wish to share." Alira nodded. She wanted to ask more, but she did not push. Instead, she offered him a drink. They spoke of battle plans, enemy movements, and defense lines. He gave clever ideas. She listened, impressed. When he left, she felt something stir in her heart. She told herself it was only interest in a strong ally. But deep inside, it felt like something more. The stranger returned to his quarters. He stood before a mirror and looked at his hidden face. His hands trembled slightly. He did not want to reveal himself, not yet. But he knew the day would come. Whispered to himself, "Not now, not until it matters." The stars outside watched as silence filled the palace. And the mystery of the hooded human grew stronger with each passing day. The sky above the Zilari city was always bright with stars. But now, fear was spreading faster than the light. The Draxian swarm had attacked 3 colonies in 1 week. Panic was growing. Inside the palace, the hooded human walked through the stone halls. People stared as he passed. Some whispered. Others stepped back, unsure of what to think. He said nothing. He only walked toward the training ground. Each day he trained the guards. His moves were sharp and fast. He never raised his voice, but everyone listened. When he showed how to hold a weapon or how to move in battle, the guards followed his lead. He was a teacher without saying he was. One of the young guards, Milo, asked him, "Sir, how did you learn to fight like this?" The human paused. Then he said, "I learned from pain, not books." Milo said nothing more. But the respect in his eyes grew. Princess Alira watched all this from her high window. She saw how the guards trained harder now, how they moved faster. She knew it was because of the human. She also knew the council was starting to grow uneasy. That evening, she met with her advisors. The room was filled with quiet tension. "He is hiding something," said one elder. "We cannot trust a man who covers his face." "But he wins battles," Alira replied. "Our people live because of him." "Or maybe he brings danger with him," another said. "He could be part of a larger plan." Alira stayed calm. "Until we have proof, he stays." Under my watch, the council did not agree, but they did not argue further. They knew the princess had made up her mind. Later, Alira called the human to her chamber. He stood before her, silent. "As always, you helped save another colony today," she said. "How did you know where the Draction would strike?" He looked at her, but said nothing for a moment. Then he said, "I know how they think. I have fought them before." She stepped closer. "Why not tell us who you are?" "You've earned trust." "Not yet," he said. "It's not time." Alira frowned but nodded. She didn't understand his reasons, but she felt he was telling the truth. They walked to the garden. It was quiet and calm there. Alira picked a blue flower and held it in her hand. "Do you miss your world?" she asked. He looked up at the stars. "I miss what it used to be." She looked at him, then asked softly, "Did you lose someone?" He nodded once. "Too many." They stood in silence for a while. Then Alira said, "You do not talk much, but your actions speak louder. My people are beginning to believe in you." Then, "I must not fail them," he said. The next day, the Draction attacked again, this time closer to the capital. Alira rode out with the guards. The hooded human joined them. The battle was fierce. Fire filled the sky. But the human fought like he knew every move the enemy would make. He directed the soldiers, called out warnings, and even saved Alira when a creature charged at her. His sword flashed and the beast fell. Alira looked at him, breathing hard. "You just saved my life." He only nodded. "Let's win this." They fought until the last of the enemy was gone. The guards cheered. Alira smiled, but her eyes stayed on the human. Who was he really? That night, back in the palace, the people talked of nothing else. The hooded human had become a symbol of hope. But in the shadows of the council chamber, not everyone was pleased. "He grows too powerful," one elder said. "The people follow him," another added. "Soon they may stop listening to us." "We must find out who he is," a third whispered, "before he takes everything." But in her quiet room, Alira held the blue flower and remembered the way he had looked at the stars. She whispered, "Who are you, really? And why does my heart feel like this when you're near?" Far away, in his room, the human stood alone. He looked at his hood in the mirror, then at the scars on his hands. "Soon," he said to himself, "but not yet." And so, the mystery of the hooded human grew deeper, even as the war outside raged on. Days passed quietly in the palace, but tension was always in the air. The council watched the hooded human carefully. Some thought he was a blessing. Others thought he was a threat. But Princess Alira could not stop thinking about him. Every day she saw him with the guards, and every day she wanted to know more. One morning, a message arrived from the front lines. A small Zilari patrol was trapped by Draction raiders in a canyon not far from the city. The council argued over what to do. Some wanted to wait, afraid it was a trap. Alira turned to the human. "What do you think we should do?" she asked him quietly. He answered without fear. "If we wait, the patrol will be lost. If we move fast, we can save them. I will lead a rescue." The council hesitated, but Alira gave him her support. Soon, the human and a team of guards were racing through the rocky hills outside the city. Alira rode with them, her heart beating quickly. She wanted to see what he would do in the heat of battle. The canyon was deep and dark. The Draction raiders had set traps, and the sound of their weapons echoed off the stone. The patrol was pinned down, their ships damaged. The human gave orders in a calm voice. He split the guards into small groups and sent them along hidden paths. He moved like a shadow, leading from the front dot. At one point, Elira was almost hit by falling rocks. The human grabbed her arm and pulled her to safety. She looked up at him, and for a moment she saw kindness in his eyes just for her. He let go quickly and went back to the fight. The rescue was dangerous. The Draxian were fierce, but the human fought with skill and bravery. He covered the retreat, helping the last patrol member out of danger. The guards followed him without question, trusting his judgment. When they returned to the city, the rescued patrol and the guards cheered. Elira smiled at the human, but he only nodded and faded back into the crowd. He did not ask for praise. He did not want attention. That night, Elira found herself thinking about him again. She wondered if he ever felt lonely, always hiding, always watching. Later, she sent for him. He came to her private study, standing quietly in the shadows. She offered him water and asked, "Why do you risk your life for us?" He looked at her, then away. "I could not watch innocent people die. I have seen enough loss." "You always say so little," Elira said. "But there is more to you than what you show." He was silent for a while. Then he spoke softly. "You would not believe my story." Elira smiled gently. "Try me." He shook his head. "Maybe one day." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden alarm. Draxian scouts were sighted near the city walls. The human moved to go, but Elira caught his hand. "Come. Back safe." He looked at her hand in his, then nodded and left. The night was filled with noise as guards and soldiers rushed to defend the walls. The human led from the front again. Elira watched from a tower, her heart racing. She saw him face danger over and over, never backing down, always protecting others. When the attack was over, the human returned, tired but unharmed. Elira met him outside the walls. For a moment, they stood together in the quiet, the city safe once more. Elira wanted to thank him, but the words felt too small. Instead, she said, "You have done more for my people than I can say. I wish I knew your name." He looked at her for a long time. "Names have power. If you knew mine, everything would change." She nodded, understanding that he was not ready to share yet. But deep inside, her feelings for him grew stronger with each passing day died far away. In the dark council chambers, the elders whispered again, "We must discover the truth." He grows too close to the princes, but Elira did not care about their whispers. She cared only for the man who kept her people safe and made her heart feel hope again. The days grew shorter as the Draxian threat came closer to the heart of the Zilari Empire. The council became more uneasy, watching both the enemy and the hooded human who had changed everything. Some people trusted the human, but others whispered that he had too much power. Princess Elira heard the whispers, but she followed her own heart. She had seen the human risk his life for her people again and again. She trusted him. One evening, after training with the guards, the human was called to meet with the council. The room was cold and quiet when he entered. The elders stared at him. One elder spoke. "You have helped us win many battles, but you hide your name and your face. Some of us believe you are not who you say." The human answered softly, "I have only ever tried to help." Another elder stood. "There are rumors you are controlling the princes, that you seek to rule." He shook his head. "I serve by choice, not for power." The council did not seem convinced. Elira, sitting beside the elders, spoke up. "We judge by actions, not rumors. He has saved many lives." A third elder said, "But what if he brings danger to us? What if the Draxian follow him?" Elira stood. "We will watch and learn, but we do not cast out those who help us." The council meeting ended with no answers. The human left the chamber in silence. Elira followed him, catching up in the quiet hall. "Do not let their fear trouble you," she said. "You have proven yourself to me." He nodded. Thank you. But trust is hard to win and easy to lose. Outside the palace, the Draction were planning their next move. Scouts came and went in the night. Alira and the human worked side by side, planning. Defenses. They spent hours together, studying maps and writing messages. The more they worked, the more she saw his true nature, calm, careful, always thinking of others first. One day, news arrived that a large Draction army was marching toward the capital. Panic spread through the city. People hurried to build defenses. Alira stood with the guards at the city walls. The human stood beside her, giving orders, helping everyone stay calm. When the battle came, it was like nothing they had ever seen. The sky turned red with fire. Draction ships filled the air. Alira fought at the front with her soldiers. The human moved through the chaos, guiding people to safety, leading attacks where the enemy was weakest. A Draction beast charged toward Alira, its claws sharp and eyes wild. The human jumped in front, his sword flashing. He fought the beast, pushing it back. Together, Alira and the human struck it down. The guards cheered, their hope growing. Even as they won small victories, danger was everywhere. The council met in secret. Some elders wanted to force the human to reveal himself or leave. They worried he would become too important to the people. One elder said, "If he does not show his face, we must act." That night, a group of guards loyal to the council tried to follow the human. He noticed them and disappeared into the shadows. Alira found him later, standing alone in the garden. "They want to drive you out," she said quietly. "I know," he replied, "but I will not leave until your people are safe." "Why do you care so much?" she asked. He looked at her, his voice gentle. "Because I know what it is to lose everything. I cannot let it happen again." Alira felt tears in her eyes. She touched his arm. "Thank you for staying." The next day, another attack hit the city. This time, the human led a small team into the enemy lines. He risked his life to destroy the Draction command ship. The battle was fierce. The team returned, tired but alive, thanks to his courage. Back in the palace, the people cheered for the hooded hero. The council, seeing how the people trusted him, became even more worried. They made a final demand. "If you want to stay, you must reveal yourself before us all." Alira tried to argue, but the elders would not listen. The human looked at her, sadness in his eyes. "The time will come," he said quietly. As the city prepared for another battle, the air was thick with tension. Alira stayed close to the human. She knew the council would soon force his secret into the open. She also knew her own heart was no longer her own. It belonged to the man behind the hood, whoever he truly was. The city was tense as the new day began. The people of Zalari had heard the rumors. Some were afraid. Others were curious. Many trusted the hooded human, but the council had made their choice. He must reveal himself or leave the city. Alira did not want to lose him. She worried all night, thinking about what would happen. The main hall was filled with soldiers, citizens, and council elders. Alira sat at the front, her hands shaking a little. The hooded human stood in the center, quiet and strong. The council leader spoke first. "You have helped us," the elder said, "but you must show us who you really are. Reveal your face and your name now." The crowd held its breath. Alira looked at the human. She could see his hands tremble, just for a second. He reached up and pulled down his hood. Gasps filled the room. Some people stepped back, shocked. Others whispered to each other. His face was young, but his eyes looked old and tired. There were scars on his cheeks. But the most surprising thing was that some people recognized him. One old guard fell to his knees. Noah Carter? It cannot be. He was lost. Alira's heart raced. She remembered that name from her childhood. Noah Carter, the human commander who had saved thousands in a great battle years ago. People said he had died, but no one ever found his body. Noah looked at Alira, then at the crowd. "My name is Noah Carter." I once led the human forces during the siege at Varen Prime. I was lost. Yes, but I survived. I have lived in the shadows. Ever since, the hall was silent. Elira stood up, her voice shaking. You were my hero when I was a child. My father told me stories of your bravery. Why did you hide? Noah took a deep breath. After that battle, I was wounded. I saw too many friends die. I could not face the world as I was. I ran away, hoping to forget. But when I heard about the Draction attacking your worlds, I could not stay hidden. The council was silent. Even the elders seemed unsure what to say. One finally spoke. You lied to us. Noah nodded. I am sorry, but I did what I thought was right. The crowd started to talk again. Some people were angry, but many cheered. They remembered the stories, too. They remembered the hope he had given in the past. Elira came to stand by Noah's side. She looked into his eyes. You saved us, just like before. You risked your life for us. That is what matters. Noah smiled, just a little. It was the first time Elira had seen him do that. For a moment, the fear and sadness in his eyes faded, but the council was not finished. You must earn our trust again, said the leader. We cannot forget what you did, but we also cannot ignore what you have done for us. Noah bowed his head. I understand. That night, Elira found Noah alone in the palace garden. He sat under a tree, looking at the stars. She sat beside him, quiet for a moment. I am sorry, she said softly. This must be hard. It is, Noah replied. But hiding was harder. She reached out and touched his hand. Will you stay? Noah looked at her, then at the city beyond the walls. If you want me to, I will. Elira smiled. I do. They sat in silence for a while, listening to the wind. Elira felt her heart grow warm. She knew her feelings for him were stronger than ever in the days that followed. People began to accept Noah. Some took longer than others, but his actions spoke louder than the past. He helped rebuild what had been destroyed in the battles. He trained the soldiers with even more care. The city began to heal Dot, but the Draction threat was still there. The final battle was coming. Noah and Elira knew it would not be easy, but now they faced it together, side by side. The truth had changed. Everything, but it had also brought them closer than ever. Noah Carter was no longer a stranger in the city. People watched him with new eyes. Some children followed him and asked about old battles. Soldiers saluted him with respect. He always stayed humble. He listened more than he spoke and helped everyone who needed it. But his past was still a shadow over his heart. Princess Elira spent more time with him now. They worked together on battle plans and training. Sometimes they walked in the gardens at night. They talked about their hopes and fears. Elira learned that Noah had lost family and friends during the war. He had seen the worst of the universe and had hidden himself away to heal. She listened to his story, her heart aching for him. You never had to be alone, she told him softly. One night, Noah shook his head. I could not be the hero people needed. I was tired and afraid. Elira touched his hand. You became a hero again. Not because you wanted to, but because you cared. Noah smiled a little. You helped me remember who I am. As days passed, the Draction attacks became worse. They destroyed more villages and left people with nothing. The people of Zalari looked to Noah and Elira for hope. The council also changed their minds. The elders saw that Noah wanted to help, not rule. They began to trust him, though some still worried about the future. One day, a message came from the front lines. The Draction leader challenged the Zalari Empire to one last battle. If the humans in Zalari won, the Draction would leave there. Worlds forever. If they lost, the Draction would take the city. Noah met with Elira and the council. We have to fight. But this time, we fight together. Not just as soldiers, but as people who want peace. The council agreed. Soldiers and workers prepared the city. Elira spoke to the people. We have been afraid. But now we fight not just for survival, but for hope. Noah Carter will lead us. The people cheered. Noah felt nervous, but he stood tall. He walked through the city, talking to soldiers, helping fix weapons, and making sure everyone was ready. He knew many would not return from the battle, but he hoped it would be the last war they ever had to fight. The night before the battle, Noah and Alira sat in the gardens. She looked at him and said, "No matter what happens, I am glad you came back." Noah reached for her hand. "You gave me a reason to fight again. If I do not return," she stopped him. "You will return, and if you do not, I will wait for you." The next morning, the final battle began. The sky was dark with smoke, and the sound of fighting filled the air. Noah led the soldiers into the heart of the enemy lines. Alira fought at his side. They moved as a team, trusting each other. The battle was long and hard. Many soldiers were hurt or lost, but the Zilari and humans fought with courage. Noah found himself face to face with the Draption leader. The creature was twice his size, covered in dark scales. It laughed at Noah. "You are just a human. You cannot win." Noah looked the leader in the eyes. "I fight for my friends. I fight for hope." They battled with all their strength. Alira saw Noah fall once, but he stood again, refusing to give up. In the end, with the help of Alira and the soldiers, Noah defeated the Draption leader. The enemy army retreated. The city was safe. The people cheered. Noah was tired and wounded, but he smiled as Alira ran to his side. She hugged him tightly, tears in her eyes. "You did it," she whispered. "You saved us all." Noah shook his head. "We did it together." For the first time in many years, Noah felt at peace. He knew there would still be hard days, but he also knew he was no longer alone. After the final battle, the city of Zilari was quiet. People walked through the streets with new hope in their eyes. The walls that had been damaged in the fight were being repaired. Children played in the gardens again. For the first time in many years, there was peace. Noah Carter woke up in the palace infirmary. His wounds were healing, but he felt tired. Alira sat beside him, holding his hand. She smiled when he opened his eyes. "You are awake," she said softly. "I am," Noah replied. He looked around at the bright room. "Did we really win?" Alira nodded. "Yes, the Draption have left our world. The people are safe." Noah tried to sit up, but Alira stopped him gently. "Rest," she said. "You have done enough." He looked at her and saw the worry in her eyes. "I am not going anywhere," he promised. "Not without you?" Alira blushed and squeezed his hand. "You should. Stay. The people need you. I need you," Noah smiled. For the first time in years, he felt wanted. He remembered all the battles, all the loss, and all the years he spent alone. Now he was part of something again. The next day, the city held a celebration. The people cheered for Alira and for Noah. The council spoke to the crowd, thanking Noah for saving their lives and for showing true courage. The elders, who had once doubted him, now nodded in respect. Alira stood in front of the crowd. She held Noah's hand and spoke to her people. "We have all lost something in this war," she said, "but we have also found hope. Noah Carter showed us that we can fight for each other and win. We are stronger together." The crowd cheered. Noah felt shy but proud. He had never wanted fame. He just wanted to help. After the celebration, Noah and Alira walked through the quiet gardens. The stars shone above them. Alira picked a blue flower, just like she had on the night they first spoke in the garden. "Do you remember this?" she asked, holding the flower out to him. Noah smiled and took the flower. "I do. That was when I first thought I could belong here." Alira looked at him, her eyes shining. "You belong here with me." Noah felt his heart beat. "Faster. Are you sure?" he asked quietly. "I am sure," she said. "I do not want to rule alone. I want someone who knows what it is to be strong, but also kind." Noah reached out and held her close. For the first time, He allowed himself to dream of a future that was not filled with war and pain. Time passed, and the city became strong again. Noah stayed by Alira's side, not just as a protector, but as her partner. He trained new soldiers and taught young children about courage and kindness. Alira led her people with wisdom, always listening to Noah's advice. The people of Zilari slowly forgot the fear that had haunted them for so long. They remembered instead the day a hooded stranger saved them. They told stories of his bravery, but also about the gentle way he helped rebuild their lives. One evening, Alira and Noah stood on the city walls and watched the sunset. The sky was golden and calm. Alira leaned against his shoulder. "Do you ever wish you could go back to your old life?" she asked. Noah shook his head. "No, my old life was filled with pain. Here with you, I have hope." Alira smiled. "You are my hope too." As night fell, the city lights glowed softly. Noah knew there would still be challenges ahead, but he was not afraid. He had found a home and a future. Together, Noah and Alira looked to the stars, ready to face whatever might come next. And so, the story of the hooded human ended, not with a farewell, but with a promise that hope and love can grow even after the hardest battles. The people of Zilari remembered him always, not just as a hero, but as a man who helped them find peace.